For the past month and a half we have been working toward this moment, and now we are finally back in the water. We, me, Britta and my girlfriend, have been sailing around the world on our boat MOHEA for over a year now. A life somewhere between freedom, adventure and the often invisible hard work that is just as much part of sailing. Because in the past weeks we haven't been in the water. We have been in a shipyard in Trinidad, surrounded by dust, noise and endless hours of work on the boat that is our home. We allowed ourselves a small break, just to get out of the shipyard for a moment, away from the dust, away from the constant noise. A day to breathe, to see at least a small part of the island. These are the days that remind us why we set out in the first place, why we started this biggest journey of our lives, to see, to experience, to be in awe.
Had so many strong again.
Dolphins are nicht in Frozen? Not yet.
Not really. But there were some actually small ones.
But back in the shipyard, reality is already waiting.
Freundin, was machen wir heute?
Antifaulen.
Antifaule. Und so ein geiler Sonnenaufgang heute. Ja, man sieht es gar nicht. Let's go! Und da ist sie ja. Und wir haben das Puff. Was soll ich dazu sagen?
Das ist doch ein chillig. Hallo.
The last days feel like one long, endless countdown. Everything depends on us getting this done now. No more putting things off. No more, we will continue tomorrow. We basically work from morning until evening, often far beyond, until it's dark and we keep going with our headlamps, as if there were no finish line.
Let's go.
And still we push ourselves forward, because we know there's no other option now but to see it through.
geklebt. Ich gehe jetzt Augen streichen.
Fokussiert nicht. Ja. Ade. Da. Zack. And besides the anti-fouling, there are still a few last things that absolutely need to be done. For example, we are reinstalling the log. That's our speed sensor that measures how fast we're moving through the water. Right now, there's literally just a hole in our boat. And that definitely needs to be sealed again. And as if all of that wasn't enough, there's one more thing. Our life raft. Something you hopefully never need, but something that absolutely has to work when you do. It definitely needs a service. Watching it being inflated in front of me, seeing it take shape, turning from this unassuming package into a fully formed survival space. There is something strangely surreal about it. And it also reminds me that the ocean may be beautiful, but it is never harmless. I'm just sitting here editing a new video right now, and I was just realizing of how much of this kind of freedom people see from the outside while living on a sailboat actually isn't. I mean, yeah, there is, but a huge part of it is also just preparing all the time. You're constantly thinking one step ahead. What could break? What is missing? What needs to be secured? What needs to be repaired? Like the life raft. What tools do we need on board? And what kind of spare parts? Most of the time we even have them twice or like 3 times because just in case. And yeah, not because out of paranoia, but because when you're out there, you know, nobody's gonna come. And the weird thing is you get used to it. It becomes kind of normal. So yeah, a big part of living on a sailboat is actually just preparing for things that hopefully never will happen. But I think all those preparations are exactly the thing that actually give you the freedom to go out there in the first place. And yeah, about preparation, there was still one last thing, the anodes. So yeah, we couldn't find the right size of the anodes there. So as usual, last minute, we had to go back to the workshop and just try to make them fit somehow. They basically just grinded it down so it was fitting our boat. Amazing. I was really happy because it all happened the same morning, and on the afternoon we already had our appointment for the lounge, so we couldn't afford any delay. And suddenly everything went really fast. We just did some last checks that we didn't forgot anything, and then we were just waiting and standing there. After all those weeks of hard work, dust, chaos, that was the moment. So we got lifted up and got back into the water, and the water was coming in, the motor was running. I don't know, I just felt so happy because our home was finally back in the water where it belonged. So let's go back to the actual video. Gute Entscheidung. Oh. Das ist eine neue Esstischversion. Passt perfekt. Weil wir haben keinen Tisch. Sodeli. Wir sind ready zum Gehen. Krass, das Wasser ist so ruhig heute Morgen. The next morning we continue, finally. We leave the shipyard behind with all the dust, all the work and the long days. But what lies ahead is not an easy passage. We know that most of the time we will be sailing against the wind, against the waves and against the current. 3 forces working against us at the same time.
Strömung. Mal schauen, ob wir es überhaupt schaffen. Aber es wird eigentlich gut sein, es soll nicht so viel Wind haben heute. Weil, ja, aber schauen wir mal. Spannend. Und hoffentlich können wir heute heimfahren.
It doesn't take long until we are right in the middle of it again. The current is already noticeable here, and we are only making slow progress. The boat pushes through the sea, wave after wave. Each one a hard impact before the boat dives in again and the next wave hits. And there is no autopilot anymore. We are hand steering again, hour after hour. We take turns. We rig up a small makeshift line system, just so we can let go of the helm for a few seconds. And then the current really hits us. It pulls us back, slows us down, takes away speed without being able to do anything about it. We keep going and still barely move forward. Trinidad. Tobago ist da rein, aber da sieht man nicht. It gets a bit calmer as the sun sets. The wind eases off slightly, and for a brief moment it feels like the worst might be over. But there's still a lot ahead of us. There's more distance in front of us than behind. And this is only the beginning of this passage. We are still a long way from Tobago. Whether we actually make it, you will see in the next episode. And thank you so much for watching. See you. Bye bye.